Hi, my name is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and welcome! Today we are going to take a look at The Veil. This is a deck building game from 1 to 4 players. You can play with 3 players. There are many different modes that you can play this game. This is a straight deck builder similar to Heroes of the Realm. So let's get down to the table, take a quick look at what is in the box. I've pulled out 2 starter decks that we're going to use, and let's get playing and show you how this game goes. Let's get playing and show you how this game works and simulate a 2-player game. There is a solo mode, and we'll talk more about that when we get down to the table. So here are the components that are in the box. This came to me not in shrink. This is a demo box that was given to me by the designer. This is the first campaign, and I think that's from 2018. I am not 100% sure. I'll put it down in the comments afterwards. The game is available on their website, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But basically, there's 380 cards here. I've picked out 2 decks, and you can't really see them very well, but there is the Necromancer deck, which is the Dark Fates deck, and there it is. So there's your Necromancer. So we got some marvelous art here, along with the back, which tells you what your starting cards are. Each deck contains 36 Fate cards, and you will place them in your Fate row, and they come in 3 different synergies. We have the green, the blue, and the red, along with the starting cards, and we'll talk more about that when we actually start to play. And that's the Necromancer. And we have the Wizard. The Wizard doesn't play with the Dark deck. It faces the forces of nature, and they share that with the Druid. In fact, there's 5 decks in this box, along with 15 heroes and 5 villains. This game is designed to be one-on-one with heroes, or one-on-one with villains, or 2-on-1 on villains, because villains have a very high count. There's also a campaign game. I do not have that, but it has special cards that allow you to play basically cooperative, similar to Heroes Realm, basically, that you're going to try to fight the ultimate bad guy and their minions and try to go through the campaign. And there's 2 campaigns available for each box. This is the first box. There was a second box, and now we have the 3rd box out on Kickstarter. And the rules are very, very simple. Easy to play. And so we're just going to dig in. We're going to set this game up, and we're just going to dig in and start playing. And I'm going to show you a number of rounds, how you play, and how simple this is. It is kind of unique because each player has its own deck. The Fate cards and the Fate row is the market for each individual person, so you don't buy from a common deck or a common market. You buy from your own Fate. And we'll talk about that when we look at the cards a little bit closer. So we're going to set this up and we're going to get playing, and this is The Veil. Now, I've changed the setup a little bit differently, only because of space considerations and the way I want to present this to you in terms of sort of 2 opposing armies. That is how the game begins. I just adjusted my lights a little bit. You can see his deck right here. So I'm going to do the first thing. I'm going to pull his 5 cards off to the side for the moment, and we're going to play our first cards. We have a dispel, but we have really nothing to dispel. We can have 1 coin, 3 coins, and I can banish the draw, but I'm going to play my Arcane Armor, which is a shield 4. So that's going to protect me. So there's a little bit more high shielded values here because the Wizard is only a 25. So he has nothing to dispel. He has 3 points. So I think he's going to go after the Guardian Bear. And of course, like most deck builders, what we're going to do is replace our Fate row with a Lava Burst, and then we're going to put these into a discard pile. And I'm just going to put that off to the side. I'll put it up here just so you can see it, barely, so I'm not cheating. And that is a simple turn. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm coming over to the Necromancer. And we're going to just play open because it just makes sense. Whoops, picked up the wrong Okay, so these are the 5 cards we're working on. That is our deck. So here are the 5 cards that our Necromancer is using. He has a skeleton. He has a graveyard. He has another skeleton. Another graveyard and another skeleton. This does not bode well for us. The first thing we do is we're going to take our graveyard. Does he have anything for 2? He does. He could pick up another skeleton, but it doesn't really maximize his points. I think for the 2 he's going to pick up is the extra coin because he's got a lot of offense right now. And then he'll replace the card with a drain life. Ooh, nice. Now, the next phase is damage phase. So he's going to take 2, 4, and it kills the bear, the arcane armor, I should say. And the arcane armor then goes into the discard. Then he can take 2 to hit our wizard. 1, 2. And our poor wizard now is down to 20. Well, it should be 23 life. I can't count, apparently. Anyway, at the end of the turn, everything taps back up. So unlike Magic, it does not persist through the defensive round. There is no defensive round. At this point in time, we take our 3 cards that we use to buy. We take our 3 cards. Here, we know we don't have enough for 5, so what we got to do is shuffle these up again. And so these will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the next round. I should have done that with our player here. He gets 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he has to shuffle one of these up and a 5th card. There we are, 5th card, and that is how we play. The turn, of course, comes back to our wizard. Woof. Well, he's got his arcane armor, which is good. He's got alchemy. He's got an arcane spark. So he has got 3 damage so far. He's got another one. And he's got his bear. So, unlike Magic, there's none of this idea of summoning sickness. So, we're going to do 3 damage. We have 6 damage in total. We have our pool of damage. Now, if we had another red card, we could gain 4 life, but we don't have that. So this will take care of 6. Of course, this is going to get discarded, and we've actually taken care of all of the skeletons, just like that in one foul swoop. We have 2 to go to the market with. We have an Ice Nova. Target opponent may draw additional cards their next turn. Ooh, that's nice. I think, though, right now he's going to try to get on the offensive, so he's going to spend his 2 to pick up a water totem. If you control 3 or more totems, your totems will have a +1 health. So there we go. That will go into the pile. He will uprate his cards. He will replace his Fate deck. He only has 4 here, so he's going to take his 4. I don't have to really shuffle them. We're going to shuffle the discard deck and add 1, and that is the end of his turn. We are back to our Necromancer. I love Necromancers. Hasn't taken any damage, but he certainly take a big hit on his skeleton forces. He's got a graveyard for 1, another graveyard for 2, another graveyard for 3, 4. And he doesn't have, unfortunately, he does not have a synergy, or else he could pick up a skeleton from the discard pile. So that gives him 6 gold. So I'm thinking, well, I think he's going to take a Drain Life and a Skeleton Army for 5. And Drain Life gives him 4 damage and 4 life. That will be very, very handy. That all goes into here. We're going to take out 2 more cards into the Fate row. We have 1 card there, and as in a typical deck by builder, we will shuffle our cards up and add 4 more cards. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is the deck for his next turn. We're in a good position over here for our wizard because we have some damage dealings. We've got some shield. It's going to be hard for now for the necromancer as the wizard has set up some really nice defenses. We have our dispel again, but I don't know if he wants to dispel anything at this point. We have 1. We have our grimoire, that's 3. We have another arcane armor, which is 4. So we have 4 gold. We have 4 gold to take to the market from our grimoire and our alchemy. He'd like to get some gold if he can, but it's not there. I think what he will do is he could use a red. I'd like to get a red, so let's get another red for 3. And we won't, like any other deck builder, that is going to get lost. I'm not at the point where I want to dispel anything, unfortunately, so we're going to put that on our discard pile. We are going to pull up another card. There is another Earth Totem. We'll put our 3 cards down. We'll reshuffle our hand for 2 more cards, and there we go. It is now our necromancer's turn. We got a graveyard. We have a skeleton. We have a graveyard, and we have a drain life. So in total, if we turn this, we're going to have a 5 damage in total. Well, he's going to go right after this guy. He has to take the guy out, which is our guardian bear with the shield. So off goes that shield. Nothing more he can do, but he does gain 4 life. Now, I am not sure that whether or not we can go beyond the full life of the necromancer. So I'm going to play as if the necromancer's maximum life is 36. I know in Heroes Realm you can take it up forever, but let's just play as this is 36. That's his life. You can't go beyond your life. But if it can, in fact, let me check the rule book. That makes more sense. I've confirmed that rule in the rule book. Now we can have 3 to spend. I think we're going to continue with bone armor here, because it's a shielded value. So he's going to spend his 3, put that in his discard. Going to refill the card. Shuffle up for 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's ready to go next turn. Drain life, of course, goes there. His skeleton is here. We have to attack the skeleton first. We have our 5 cards. Now we have 2 arcane armors, so we're well protected. So we have an alchemy card. We have our arcane spark. We have our totem. We have our guardian bear and another alchemy. Whoops, we're playing our guardian bear outside the realm. There we are. So our water totem does damage and life. So we have 3 here. We have 2 life here. We have to attack him first. Then we can tap our bear for 3 damage, which gets us 6 damage in total. And then we can tap our totem, which will give us 2 health, which takes us back up to 24 health. Backs up to 24 health. And so in total we have 8 damage. The first 2 damage is going to go to our skeleton. And then 6 damage goes to our necromancer. So the necromancer takes his first bit of damage. We have 2. So we're going to buy another earth totem. That goes into our discard as well as this. We'll pick up another card. Chain lightning. We will put our bear out here. And you can see that our army is growing. Unlike our necromancer, who does not seem to be doing quite as well. The necromancer has his 5 cards up. He gets a skeleton. Quick draw. You may put a skeleton from your discard into your hand. Well, there's a skeleton right into my hand. Oh, I don't have a blue card yet. That's unfortunate. So we at least have 2. We have another skeleton, and we have $3 to play with. There we are, graveyard, and this. He can banish a card in your favorite. I don't think he wants to do that. So he's going to buy 3. So he's got 3. He's going to take a zombie. So we're going to try to get on the offensive more. So he's going to take his zombie. And then he is going to attack 6. Now we have to do 5 against the shield. Now because it's not shielded, I do not have to do direct damage to the water totem, but I can do 1 damage to the wizard. And of course this comes back up. We get a new veil. We're going to have to draw up 5 cards. That's the first one. And then we're going to shuffle our cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have our 4 cards for our oh, we never gave our wizard 5 cards. So we have 3 cards left over from the last turn. And we'll shuffle up for 2 cards. 1, 2. We have an alchemy card. We have 3. We have a dispel. You may banish a card in your hand or fate root. I don't think he needs to do that. We have a guardian bear and a spark, which is good. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take care of our damage. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 damage again. That takes care of all our skeletons. Or I should say the necromancer skeletons for 6. And we still only do 2 damage to our necromancer. We're chipping it away. The spark goes into the damage we can buy from the market if we have anything this cheap. I think we're going to pick up chain lightning for 2. So we have 3. We're going to pick up chain lightning. That's going to go into our discard pile. We're going to replace our fate deck with another fire totem. Ooh. And then we're going to replace 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to shuffle up for 5. So this game really keeps these decks pretty thin. The necromancer is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's got a graveyard. He doesn't have a blue card anywhere. Oh, he does. So he's going to play a skeleton. He is going to play this, gives him 2 gold, and the synergy allows him to not only take 2 life, which is helpful. You may put a skeleton from your discard pile into your hand. Of course, we're going to play that. And we have the zombies. So let's look in the market. We have, we have 4 to play with. Oh, I'm thinking we're going 4 with Warlocks of the Coast. That might be a bit of a play on Wizards of the Coast. We're going to put that in our discard pile. Now we can have attack. We have zombies, and what does it say about zombies? When this recruit dies, you may put a skeleton from your discard pile into your hand. Well, that is wonderful. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Not enough to worry about the water totem, but that does kill our bear. And it gives him back 1 life. It takes 1 life away from the wizard. And that is his turn. Everybody kind of untaps. There we go. We are starting to get some armies. We've got our Altar of the Undying. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. That's his next turn right here. Our wizard untaps. Should have untapped at the beginning of the turn. This isn't Magic. I confuse the rules. So many games out there are deck building, and so this isn't it is a deck building, but it's using static decks. So there's no elements of building your own deck. I'm sure you could. There are other decks, We have another guardian bear right there. We have 2 alchemy. We have an earth totem, which basically will give me 2, and then plus 1 heart for every other totem. But I don't have 3 or more totems yet. And then we have chain lightning. And you can see our synergies. So we have 2 synergies here, which allows me to draw back up to my life. I'm still not at full life, so I will give myself life. And I have 2 coins over here, so we'll tap him for the 2 coins, which gives us 4 altogether. Yeah, not enough for that, not enough for that, but it gives me enough for my Ice Nova and my another Fire Totem. And we'll put that there. And then we will attack. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9. That takes care of the 2 zombies. For 4, he could get rid of this, but he doesn't have to attack. 4, so he's going to do 5 damage against our Necromancer, and these are going to go off into their discard pile. That's it. His chain lightning goes off. We get 2 more cards out on the thing, and we have a Spectral Beast. Ooh, that's an interesting one because it gives us, depending on our synergies, out on the board. So that's kind of neat. And we're going to go 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like the wizard is outstripping the Necromancer at this point in the game. So we're going to go. We'll do one more round for the Necromancer, and we'll stop there. I think this is giving you a flavor of what's going on. We're going to play our Drain Life, of course. We have 2 graveyard cards that's going to give us some coin. We have a Bone Armor that's a shield. We have another graveyard, and of course we have our Drain Life. So we'd be able to do 4. We could turn this for 7 damage. He has to take the shield out. That's 5. He doesn't have enough to take out the totems, but he can do 2 more damage. But I don't think that was really going to hurt him. That would go in here. He also gets 5 life back. Just like that. And that game would go on and on and on until somebody runs out of life. Or your decks get so thin that you can't play anymore. And I've seen that happen in Cthulhu Realms. But that is the basics of the Veil. So let's go up and let's talk about it in terms of what I think about the Veil and the state of the game. So first I'm going to say that I do love deck builders. And this is a no-brainer in terms of me liking deck builders. This deck builder is got some wonderful art. It's got some easy to understand rules. There's really not a lot to dislike about the game in terms of the deck building mechanisms and the way you play this game. You've got replayability, you've got art, you've got some unique fate decks, you've got some unique villains and heroes to play, you have different options of playing. So this is all very, very good. Now, in terms of the card, it is what it is. In terms of the cards are fine, good weight. I'm a compulsive sleever. So the first thing I'm going to say in terms of one of the negativities about this is that the cards fall in between the standard Magic cards, which is that 63.5 by 88, and the British or the American standard card, which is 59 by 92, or even the British one, which is 57.5 by something along that way. So the game's not really wide enough to fill a Magic style or a standard sort of Magic style deck builder, and not small enough to fit into smaller sleeves. So it falls into the cracks, And so, while that's not a particular showstopper, but when you're dealing with deck building and tons of shuffling, I don't want the wear on my cards, plus the risk of, social gaming where they could spill something. And because I can't sleeve it, it's a bit of like, well, don't drink that. And I don't want to be that kind of host, but often I am. So just bear that in mind. If you are a sleever, you're not going to be able to sleeve it. And even if you could sleeve it, it's not going back in the box, because with the 380 card box, that's probably not what you're going to get in that box. If you sleeve, you're only probably going to get 200 in them, and you're going to have to get another box. Now, one of the other things that I will talk about is I went to the website because I thought, I really would like to see the second one and some of the campaign stuff. So, first of all, the game for the second campaign there is on sale for about $89. Now, let's take a look at this. So for $89, I'm basically going to get 380 cards. That's plus the shipping off of that particular site was about $40. So $120 for basically for some decks of cards. You're talking about, there's 5 decks in here, so you're talking about $20 a deck, and then with the starter decks. Plus though, you have to buy the campaigns separately. Now the campaigns aren't that much. It's $25 for the book, and then you have to buy the packs, which wasn't available for this. So that was kind of sad, because with the campaign, you can play cooperatively and solo. So this takes that out of this equation. So what I really have is just a deck builder with no narrative, no story, and why am I playing this game? Now, don't get me wrong, this is a good deck builder. But the narrative is so important. The context. Why am I playing the Veil? Why should I spend the $80 or $90 for this game for 380 cards when I can buy, say, Heroes Realm for about $40? It doesn't offer much more than what you get here, and you can get the campaigns, and you can get different. Now, you don't get the variety of heroes. You only get 5 heroes and about 3. You only get about 5 heroes and about 3 villains with Heroes Quest. So I can see this is a very niche game, and obviously the designer and publisher has done a great job in building up a clientele that is willing to go out and likes the game and is willing to go out and spend that money. Now, I did back the new campaign because it has all the campaign stuff for the third one. So there's value in going out and buying that campaign. Now, in the current campaign, if you want the rest of this, you got to buy the $360 package. That's about $450 Canadian. I didn't even play that much for Thunderstone Quest, which has 1,500 cards and boards and tokens and all that type of stuff. Again, this is not a criticism on the game itself. The game plays wonderful. And if you want to go out and take a look and think that this is what you want to put your money in, go for it. And I did, because I'm curious and I want all this stuff and I want to see a solo campaign. But if it wasn't for the fact that, and I will give you a grain of salt that this, I did not buy this game. It was given to me to give a preview and review of the play, and I have. So there is no grain of salt here, because I was asked to do this, but at the same time, I appreciate being sent this. But if I wasn't sent this copy of the game, I wouldn't have given the Veil a second thought on Kickstarter. I think what we need to do, and again, if this price point here would come down to about $50 for this box, throw in all the campaign and promos and all that stuff, then you're talking $90. But I can't fathom spending $120, which I am, because I want to play all the campaign stuff. But if I was just to buy this box, and I wasn't given this box, I wouldn't have given the Veil a second thought. In fact, I had skipped it originally, because just for the price. And the shipping is brutal, especially to Canada. So I don't know where to go with this, because I don't want to sugarcoat it, but at the same time, I do like the game. But I will say that as a deck builder, it really doesn't offer much in the way of something new. I would say if it was like a wedding, this would be something borrowed, something old and something borrowed. There's not a lot of difference here in the base game between this and maybe Heroes Realm. And other than the art and some of the theming is wonderful, because you have individual decks with individual starting. And that's the uniqueness of this game. But it doesn't offer 100% uniqueness. It doesn't offer more than that at the base level or at this level where I just get the box. Those are always tough for me, because I really don't like to be critical. But that is the reality. My name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. I thank you for joining me. If you like what you see, please hit the like button, click subscribe, get notifications, put comments down below if you would. Look me up. I'm on Board Game Revolution, Board Games for Ron, Everything Board Games, the Solo Board Game Group, and the Board Game Group, if I could speak English. That's it. I am signing off. I am going to put this away, and we're going to get this edited, and we're going to get this out. We will talk to you next time. See you later. Have a good gaming day.